we finished in a record high 2nd place, while also lifting the DFB Pokal.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
But seriously, we really need to stop Bayern Munich now. Something we came so close to doing in the Super Cup, only losing on penalties. I was a bit disappointed to be rejected when asking to expand the stadium, because somebody pointed out to me in the comments that we were only getting 3,600 attended in our Champions League matches. I didn't even realise. And that's because UEFA's ruling says terracing is not permitted in stadiums. And I believe our stadium has only got one stand with seats and the rest are terraced. And I guess that stand only has 3,600 seats. Meaning in the knockouts we are having to play our home games at Hertha's stadium.
No.
And I don't know why they rejected it when we have £130 million sat in the bank. Anyway, we get started with some inquiries about our players. Here is another one for Marjanovic, and another one for Moukoko. Marjanovic was easy to avoid as he wanted to sign a new contract and stay with us, and we happily accepted that. And my thinking was to get the release clause out of his contract and extend, and I wasn't too worried about the wage, and I was correct in thinking that. We got a deal done rather easily. And although Moukoko never really kicked off, things did escalate from just the inquiry. Starting off with a huge £143 million offer from Real Madrid, which I rejected. So they came back with £173 million. I rejected that also.
Guys, relax. Relax!
It's actually under his value, and there's no way I can replace a player that's so vital to us. Just a reminder, we paid £5 million for this monster as well. I did, however, sell Seiko Koita to Freiburg for £3.5 million, but that is because I had a plan in this young Brazilian. But first off, our first signing of the window was Jeremy Frimpong, £18 million from our rivals as well, and I think that's a really good bargain, picking him up for only £18 million from Leipzig, and he's going to be a starting left back for us. Yes, his main position is right back, but we are using inverted wing backs, and he is perfect for that role. But Vinicius, let's take a look at him. £9.75 million from Atletico Mineiro. What a player we have on our hands. Though he is 22, so I would expect somewhat of a better development at this point, but he is still really good as a backup striker. I need to start training him in some of his mental attributes like anticipation, composure, and off the ball, but he has the physicals, he has decent technicals, and that determination. Oh yes, and he's incredible at training, which tells me he has very good professionalism. And it only took us 5 minutes before Frimpong chipped the ball to Vinicius to score on his debut in an 8-0 cup win. Our first game of the league campaign was against Dortmund. In a fixture we usually struggle with in the past, I think this match showed me how far we have developed as a team, and we completely destroyed Dortmund 4-0 with 4 different goal scorers from all positions across the pitch, and ending with Moukoko getting on the score sheet in the 94th minute. We then sold 2 French players in Mikkel Brent for £11 million and Hugo Ekitike for almost triple what we paid for him, and he flopped for us and only scored 2 goals last year. And I know I shouldn't spend all of the money on one player, but
we're gonna do it anyway.
From Porto, this time we have 19-year-old Honduran international Oscar Ramirez, who we paid a £25 million release clause for. And to be honest, I think he could easily be our starting defensive midfielder or even centre-back if we play a team we expect to see a lot of the ball against. Back to the pitch though, and Moukoko scored the only goal of the game against Werder Bremen, before Mainz felt the wrath of Marjanovic in a 4-1 win. A free kick, followed off by kick-off with the most outrageous goal I think I've ever seen, where he sits down the goalkeeper and walks the ball into the net. He then went on to score a hat-trick in the game with the final goal in an amazing individual performance. I don't know whether the seeding system for the Champions League is broke, but we face Chelsea, Manchester United, and PSG yet again in the Champions League. September started with an away win against HSV. Oscar Ramirez even scored his first goal in a 3-2 win against Galatasaray in front of 3,617 people. And with Hertha Berlin once again getting promoted, it's derby day and they take the lead. Not for long though, as Moukoko equalises 7 minutes later. Diomande is there to tap in a safe shot, and Asllani makes it 3-1 Union Berlin. But Hertha kept fighting and found a second to keep us on our toes. We finally broke them down again when Morek's pass found Kaiki to make it 4 4-2, and right at the end, Moukoko got his second of the game to give us a 5-2 win.
Get in!
We then lost to Freiburg.
Cheers, Jeff.
And then we lost to Inter Milan. We sat in second, but it wasn't Bayern Munich ahead of us, it was Stuttgart, who are currently unbeaten in the Bundesliga. In October, we lost another league match to Cologne, but we did pick up wins against Dusseldorf 1-0 and Schalke 4-0. Vitor Roque scored a tremendous hat-trick against Dresden in the cup. We lost to Chelsea, however, in the Champions League right after. Stuttgart lost 2 games through this, and we overtook them at the top of the Bundesliga, with Bayern down in 7th place, losing 4 matches. And that's who we play next. Hertha, on the other hand, they only have 1 point from 9 games. Over to the Allianz Arena in Munich, and Bayern Munich take the lead through De Ligt. They doubled their lead when Natai Nugent scored a second right before half-time. From a corner, new signing Vinicius pulled one back, tapping in at the back post. And then Youssoufa Moukoko equalised with just minutes remaining. But that comeback was too good to be true, and Vendo ran down in the 93rd minute to snatch the winner. Fear not, as this was our only bad result in the month, where we picked up wins against Wolfsburg, Stuttgart and Bielefeld, as well as beating Manchester United in the Champions League and drawing to Olympiacos. Still top of the league, and Bayern are still in 7th place. In Moukoko's absence, it was Vinicius who stepped up, scoring a hat-trick against Frankfurt in a 3-1 victory. And you'd actually think it was Moukoko on the pitch, that's how good Vinicius looked on this day. Our other win this month was against now mid-table RB Leipzig 3-1 after they took the lead after 4 minutes. Gladbach equalised from the spot in the 92nd minute though to take 2 points off of us, while Leverkusen took all 3. And before you know it, it's January, and I've been training Morek as a backup left back. He's quite good at it too. In our first match of the year, we defeated Borussia Dortmund 1-0, and then we progressed through the cup against Frankfurt, picking up our form just in time for the Berlin derby. We absolutely destroyed them 7-3, and Youssoufa Moukoko scored a hat-trick and won man of the match, scoring all 3 of his goals between the 19th and the 39th minute, keeping them bottom and putting us top of the Bundesliga. Although conceding 2 stoppage time goals and scoring a 96th minute goal ourselves in this 3-all draw won't help our title challenge. We also scrapped through the Champions League phase with 2 wins in January against Feyenoord and Rennes. And we were drawn against Simeone's Atletico Madrid, where we progressed through by beating them 4-2 on aggregate thanks to this 3-1 win at home with 3 different goal scorers and making Simeone cry. Unlucky. We kept pushing on in the league with a great win against HSV, but another late goal cost us the win after being 2-0 up against Mainz, followed by a mad 4-0 win against Freiburg, who, remember, have recently been in the top 3 the last couple of seasons. A 94th minute penalty secured all 3 points against Dusseldorf and now puts us back at the top above Bayern Munich. It's PSG awaiting us though in the Champions League, and Mainz in the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal, which is what we played next, and once again got the better of Mainz, winning 3-1 and putting ourselves into the semi-final, giving us the chance to retain our cup win from last year. But in the Champions League, however, it wasn't to be, and we bow out once again in the round of 16 to a very good PSG side. But with 2 more wins in the league, it was Bayern Munich who we faced up next. And from the very first goalkeeping mistake, I knew it wasn't going to be our day, and even though we did score an equaliser from a corner, we still got absolutely battered. They were nestling goals into the corner from range, having the best opportunities and giving us nothing. It really surprised me how bad we had played, and we lost 5-1, putting them back at the top at the beginning of April by 2 points. It was an extra time free kick from Diamonde which seen us defeat Stuttgart 3-2 and send us into the DFB Pokal final, where a clash against Borussia Dortmund awaits after they beat Bayern Munich 2-1. We also faced Stuttgart in the league and couldn't even beat them in 90 minutes then either. And we even lost 1-0 to Frankfurt. Moukoko got himself a hat-trick against Cologne, and we also beat Wolfsburg 4-0 at home in our other 2 Bundesliga games. But Bayern Munich also dropped points in the league and the gap stayed the same. A fantastic win against Gladbach put us top, but only for a day as Bayern Munich defeated HSV 5-0 on the Sunday. We really need them to drop some points, but with only 2 games left to play, kinda looks impossible. And they had 2 fairly easy fixtures before facing United in the Champions League final. We continued keeping ourselves in with a chance by beating Leipzig 2-0 away in the pouring rain with goals from Moukoko and Ivanovic. But the miracle happened in Bielefeld as Bayern Munich showed up, not expecting this hard of a match, and Arminia put themselves 2-0 up. Munich could only pull 1 goal back, and that is exactly the result that we needed. So with 1 game to go, it's in our hands. We could finally stop the Bayern Munich dominance. And in the final fixture, Bayern Munich took the lead early in their match through De Ligt's Thunderbastard. And they doubled it 2 minutes later through Vinny Jr., putting them back top of the table again, with our match still goalless. But just as news hit our stadium of Bayern Munich second, Marjanovic was put through and had the audacity to chip the goalkeeper. And we held on. And for the first time in 19 years, a new team have won the Bundesliga. And for the first time in Bundesliga history, it's Union Berlin. Wait. We still have the DFB Pokal final, where Frimpong and Aslani are both missing through suspension and injury, but it's still an incredibly strong lineup. But it only took one Youssoufa Moukoko goal to separate the 2 sides. In a game where all of our starting 11 played incredibly well and we had 21 shots to their 8, 1 goal was the difference. A truly fantastic season, winning the double, and can only be topped off by that Champions League trophy we still have to win, with just short of £50 million to upgrade the team in the summer. Next episode of It's Out will be up on the screen.